All right, I'm at my downspout here. And what the problem is that over this, I don't know, like an 8-foot run there, sometimes water drops will come straight down the middle, right? And they're gonna land hard in my aluminum connector or at the very least make a big echo noise down my ABS drain pipe, right? And so I tried a makeshift solution which works about halfway, which is I just took some aluminum wire and put one of them shop towels in there, so that way the drips hit something other than loud echoey metal, and that fixed the problem by like 50%. But I can still hear it from my room, which is right on the other side of this wall. So I have a new idea. I actually did this before, but it comes with some drawbacks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some rope. I guess you could use anything that's, you know, fairly fine, like a chain or something, right? The idea is that I'm going to tie it up there coming down those two elbows, right? And the idea is that water, instead of getting stuck in, like, say, those ridges there, and then eventually breaking the surface tension and coming down as a drop, especially because this thing's probably not perfectly plumb, it's probably a little one way or the other, right? I want the drops to not just drop, so I'll cut a length, I don't know what that is, like 2 or 3 feet total, tie it off up at the gutter, run the rope down there, so hopefully the rope guides the water along this front edge of the gutter and thereby stopping the drips. So I'd done something like this before for a few years and it worked great, but the problem is that it increases the chances of clogs in the gutter, even though I have like no trees around my house at least, right? So like I get like basically no leaves in my gutters. Some crap eventually blows up there. Like if I get up the ladder right now, you'll see that like there's some amount of debris. So over years that can like add up. So that's the trade-off, but I think it'll be worth it because again, it's once every few years. And I think if I use a short piece of rope instead of going all the way down, if it just kind of terminates around that elbow, that might help make it so that debris doesn't get clogged. So basically the rope is maybe free to move about there. If debris is coming down, the rope won't be immovable. It can still kind of wiggle around and let debris past it. So to demonstrate this, I just used my hose. That's a 0G hose, pretty good. I like it. And one of these nice nozzles you don't got to hold down. Anyway, that's a tangent. So I sprayed some water up there to get some water flowing. And this is what it looks like normally, right? The bulk of the water is hugging the edge of the downspout and just coming off in a stream. It's not very noisy. But hopefully you can start to see after like just a minute, some things are landing straight down the pipe, hitting my little makeshift solution here, right? Hopefully the camera's picking that up okay. I'll give it another minute, then make another clip. We're just like a minute later. Hopefully you can see the splashes. Let me back up a bit. See how there's like kind of a splash intermittently right there? Maybe it's a little hard to see, but it's hitting my paper towel. That's the thing that makes a loud noise. Here's my rope. I just bought this from Home Depot. It's some nylon rope. Got my Milwaukee scissors. Milwaukee really needs to sponsor me. These pavers are about a foot. I mean, I think they're nearly exactly a foot. So let me just get like 3 feet of this or something. So that should be 3 pavers. Man, it's really hard to film with like, and do stuff with like one hand. So something like that should be sufficient. I'm going to cut it on the ground rather than like messing around on the ladder. Hopefully 3 feet's good. So I can always cut it shorter because I obviously can't cut it longer. Wow, it's freaking hard to do. I should use my wire cutter. It's hard to do with one hand here. There we go. Okay, so up the ladder, I'm going to tie this off somewhere in the gutter. So here I am. See, I just tied off that rope, slid it down. There's a little hard, so I put my thing on full and like blasted it down. And now that I'm up here, I just did like a double knot. But it would be kind of nice to use like maybe a chain. That way I could have a nice hook on the chain instead of relying on a knot. I'm not sure if a chain would be as effective. It might catch more debris than the rope even. But anyway, since I'm up here, let's put some water in here and then see what happens down there, see if it works. Okay, so initially, like the last one, lots of water dripping around the edges. Let's give it another minute, see if any start dripping down the center. Remember, the goal is that the water in that rope, imagine the rope coming down through there and then eventually hugs that corner. So instead of water getting caught on that corner, see all like the folds to make the bend, instead of getting caught there and then dripping down every once in a while, hopefully it hits the rope. And if the rope extends past those folds, it will then be resting on this outer face of the gutter and hopefully slides down the gutter without dripping. Yeah, looking pretty promising so far. Lots of the water's already gone. Nothing dripping down the center, unlike last time. So I might just remove this old fix and then see if in another few years this gets clogged up again. One other thing. Earlier I cut 3 feet. Yeah, that was too short, right? That won't work. It has to be like long enough, because by the time I tied the knot and slid it down, I already knew. I was like, oh damn, I've already used up too much length. So I cut 5 feet. It's gonna be different for everyone, right? But I cut 5 feet this time and made sure, like, okay, it's at least gonna make it down the downspout by a few inches past those folds for the bend. So yeah, I messed that up. And as always, one more thing, I'm wearing my gloves, I'm wearing my glasses. This is kind of a stupid thing. Like, I don't often wear glasses when playing with a hose, but because I was spraying the hose upward, because I'm on the ladder, I really don't want to risk something, you know, getting in my eye, some random stuff. You know, there's debris on the roof or whatever. Remember, it makes you no less competent or manly or whatever you're looking for by wearing protective gear. It's like not the type of competition you want to engage in. Like, you're not going to be a winner by using the least amount of safety equipment. Okay, it's like a minute later, you can see there's barely water dripping. I think it's working. So I'm gonna call this project done. Like and subscribe, comment, whatever. Thank you.